I mean, hey, great music. Also, she jumped into film as well, as we all know the classic movie "What's Love Got to Do with It." Kind of like her autobiography documentary of her life to stardom and everything else, and it just like the whole world just embraced that, and she came like a superstar all over again. You know what I mean with the movie. So again, we paying much love and homage. Our deepest condolences go out to Tina Turner's family. And we lost our icon today. You know what I mean? We repping Claire today too. So shout out to my girl Claire. Rest in peace. All right, everybody don't know who Claire is. Come on, man. You can't be from Buffalo and don't know who Claire was. All right. So, we're gonna pay our respect and shout out, Claire, rest in peace, Claire. Now, gentlemen, the Groove came out at the Lakers home court. Was it crypto.com stadium now?
Crypto.com.
Yeah. Crypto.com.
Wild, man.
Yeah. Whatever pays
from something as
right?
iconic as Staples Center to crypto.com arena is crazy.
That chicken, that crypto had that bread. They paid that crypto. They paid them in crypto. They ain't ran out of Staples. So that's what happened with that. But the broom came out at crypto.com stadium, and in the back of your mind, do you think there's a possibility that LeBron would say it's over? Do you think, Jamal? What are your thoughts?
For next year, zero possibility. I don't think there's any chance he is not playing next season.
Zero possibility?
Zero possibility. He's going to play. He wants his retirement tour. He deserves his retirement tour. I am kind of shocked that I thought he would, for sure, maybe be in the league to see his son play and still be playing by then. I'm unsure about that possibility now. He's came back on that statement saying, that may not necessarily be something that his son wants to do. And he's completely okay with that. And, with this postseason, kind of realizing his body can't quite do the same things that it used to be able to do, though still being an incredible player. I do believe he'll definitely, may not be playing it maybe 1 year from now, but he'll definitely be playing to start next year for sure, without a doubt.
Zero possibilities. What is your thoughts on it, Justus? LeBron retiring?
See, now I'm curious to see. Like, I need to see the full statement because I have some thinking to do, or whatever the headline was that I saw. That doesn't tell me he's retiring. That's telling Rob Pelinka, like, yeah.
You gotta do something.
Hey, we need to get this.
But they need to do something too. I mean, when you look at it, how the NFL do it, right? In order to bring guys in, there's going to have to take some sort of restructuring of these contracts. Like, you and AD can't get paid all the money, and then you got the next guy. Your next guy is getting $2 million a year. You signing the rest of your roster. The rest of your roster makeup is on veteran minimum contracts. That's just not going to work like that. They're going to have to figure that out. Like, to get another guy in there, you want to bring a Kyrie? I'm not sure. What lies ahead for the Lakers, but you're not going to beat Denver if you don't get better. I'll tell you that. If you don't bring in another guy, another perennial star to match that, you're not going to beat Denver anytime soon because they're young, and again, their starting five can give you 20 on any given night. Game 4, all 5 guys scoring in double figures, put 3 of them having over 20 points. So Lakers is going to have to be able to fight fire with that. I don't know what he's going to have to do. They did a good job on turning the roster around midseason for the Lakers to even make it that far. But playing Denver, obviously the number 1 seed, Denver showed why they were number 1 seed. And they really made the Lakers look like a 7 seed out there. I mean, let's be quite honest about that. So I think the youth, the athleticism, they had that to their advantage rather than the Lakers. Obviously, Bron gave you 30, and he gave you all he had in the first half. We're talking about he's 38 years old now, right?
He is.
Okay, so what was it like? Is it okay? Your father time kicked in the second half, and that
I mean,
will happen.
we was live during the game, so I haven't seen.
I mean, AD
what
didn't
happened.
clearly do enough in this
So,
ball game.
I mean,
21 points and
that's my
14
whole thing.
rebounds is
It's
not going
so.
to do it.
Let's say if LeBron dropped 15 in the first half, nobody's mad at that. Then dropped 16 in the third quarter or whatever, and he equaled that 30. He went at 38 going into the fourth, right? Something like that.
Yeah, well, he had
So,
40.
so let's say you divide them points up and make it spread evenly throughout the first three quarters. Like, doesn't really. He had 38 points. Like that's what. And you telling me my number 2 got 9? And we're putting that on 38-year-old LeBron James.
AD definitely has to.
So AD is the most inconsistent superstar I think I've ever seen in my life.
I don't know what to say about AD right there.
And he really should lose the superstar title. He's a star adjacent right now because
he hasn't taken over no game.
Superstar. I can't take it away from him. He's a borderline superstar for sure.
He
hasn't taken over no games.
No. I mean, but that's the thing because he can. He can.
What he does defensively, though, is just so
exactly the defensive prowess that he brings, attached to his. I can drop 40 any night I want to, or well, I don't know about any night I want to, but I could drop 40, and you never know what you're getting from Anthony Davis. One night he could have 40, 15, and 3 with 3 blocks. And then the next night, he dead serious could have 9 points and a half. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. How can you depend on that? How can you count on that? I'm 38. Like, what are you expecting from this man? He's not Jesus.
They need another because those 2 stars, LeBron's old and AD's inconsistent. They're never going to outplay Jokic and Jamal.
It's crazy, bro. LeBron should not have this burden on his back at 40. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. He should. He should have it on his back.
He should have the burden on his back.
The burden is on his back. It's like the burden was on Michael Jordan's back. It's like the burden was on Kobe's back at one point. I don't want to hear that. I'm not giving Bron no slack. I'm sorry, not sorry. We got online. We got the Torch. I know the Torch will be joining us.
We're not giving him slack. It's what slack is there to give? He's 38.
I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the 38. But 80 still, he didn't give. He did 21 and 14, and stave off elimination is not going to cut it, AD. So he needs to act like Aaron Rodgers or something and go sit in the darkness for a couple of weeks or 10 days, figure it out, because I don't know what's going on with AD. But the Lakers definitely need a consistent third person that's going to play defense and score as well. So they got to figure that one out, because the team, they did get better. They made it all the way to the conference finals for where they were to start off the season, but you're not going to beat Denver just based upon what Jamal was just telling us. Torch, what's good?
Oh, what's going on, Coach? How's everybody doing today? I'm so mad. I'm so mad that I can't be down there. I'm over here busting bad guys. But I heard that there's a new song sweeping the nation right now. Sweeping the nation. It's called Old and Yellow. Old and Yellow. That's what I heard. I heard it called Old and Yellow. Okay. Secondly, number 2, Justus General. I got mad love for you, bro. But I don't want to hear none of y'all Lakers fans talk crap about AD when y'all wanted AD better than fat kids want cake. I don't want to hear it. I remember what y'all did to get AD. Now all of a sudden, AD saw what he is, which is glass. And now y'all on this, you know what now? Now y'all mad at it. Make this make sense. Y'all got swept. Just take it like a minute. Just take the L. Y'all got swept. Jamal told you was going to get swept. And y'all got swept. There's also it. LeBron don't get LeBron ain't getting no arm 38 passes. No. We ain't hearing it. Don't nobody want to hear that.
He was 38 when he dropped those 31 in the first half.
All right, so Torch, real quick. All right, because I respect what you're saying. You my dog, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got mad love for you, Torch. You know that, bro? When AD was with the Pelicans in 2018-2019 season, this man averaged 26 points a game on 51% shooting, 12 rebounds, 4 assists. That's not even mentioning anything that he brings defensively. That man was a superstar. Nobody expected him to come here and be I mean, I'm not even gonna call him a bum, but he definitely had bummish quarters. In the biggest games of not his life because he's won the championship, but it seems like ever since he's won that championship, he just don't care. It's just he don't have the hunger no more. It's just really not that. I don't think he got that in him, that greatness gene. Where it's just like in my soul I need to win this championship. I don't feel that from AD.
No more Hunger Games, huh? No more Hunger Games.
He not hungry. He don't want it. Am I wrong? Is that a bad assessment?
No, it's not a bad assessment at all. Coach, you already know what it is with AD. It is not a bad assessment at all.
Yeah, I'm over it. I'm over it. They know what they got to do, and if they
Look,
don't, then
I'm gonna keep it a bean with you. I'm proud of LeBron. This was a win for LeBron in my book. Bro is 20th season in the league, 38 years old. He come out, he had the season he had, and then he leads the playoff run. He leads with Austin Reeves as his second best player. This is the Dellavedova type of situation.
AD was definitely the best.
Okay, that's fair. But I mean, like in certain points, Austin Reeves was his second best player on certain points.
Was a regular season was a disaster, and they had a good turnaround. But the playoff run was definitely impressive. And I got to give AD his credit. He was the best player on that team. Up until the conference finals, and the wheels kind of fell off for him there. But
you think he was the best player of the team in the first two rounds?
Absolutely.
I disagree.
Absolutely.
I disagree.
Well, I don't know. But guess what? They're in Cancun right now, guys.
I'm sure.
LeBron has a lot of
LeBron
time.
signing a $1 billion deal.
Right now. He has a lot of time to think about as he's going to retire. I don't think he's going to retire at all, but
not here.
Like you said, Justus playing in the league for 20 years, being 38 years old, you have to start thinking about that at some point now. When you go home early, you don't, win a world championship.
But he's not thinking about retiring. It's a message to the Lakers saying something needs to change. Like something needs to change because when you're 38 years old, you literally dominated the league to the point where they called an entire conference week simply because you won it every year for a decade plus. And now you 38, you won your second decade, and you still is performing like a top 10 player when you need to. Why stop? If he was slowing down and kind of like no disrespect, this is one of the most talented players of all time. Tracy McGrady mode, like Spurs type. Okay, all right, hang it up. But he's not. He's playing like Jalen Brunson. Is he a beast? For the Knicks, he's a beast, right?
He's a beast. He's good.
He's not better than LeBron James. That's crazy to say.
LeBron James is still a top.
He's nowhere near better than LeBron.
Exactly my point. And Jalen Brunson is a dog. And he's nowhere near LeBron James at 38. That says a lot. So that's all I'm saying. He ain't retiring. Why would you? It's like Tom Brady retiring. Giselle, sit. Relax. Relax. I just want a Super Bowl. I only get one chance to do this in my entire life, dog. I got one life to live. I'm not gonna be playing this for 5 more years. Just let me do my thing. I don't get it, but hey, whatever.
Well, he's the owner of the Raiders now.
Oh, he owner.
The owner of the Raiders.
Michael Jordan was the owner too.
And he got $375 guaranteed on a 10-year contract.
He's doing that next year though. He's taking a year off.
Fox Sports, right? So
Michael Jordan was the owner, and then he came back too.
So. Well, you can't get away from the game. Brady was going to do something to stay around the
and I respect it.
I gotta love it.
I respect
it. I'm an owner, and I still get to sit down and analyze.
You can't call Raiders games though.
They're gonna pay me. They're gonna pay me $38 million a year.
It'll be cool to hear Tom Brady analysis on like Josh Allen and stuff like that, though. That'd be pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. So we definitely have to, wait and see about that. But we're gonna take a quick timeout right now. When we do come back, we is going to hear from Josh Allen. We is going to hear from Coach McDermott, Von Miller, and much, much more. Keep it locked. Keep it legendary. You're tuned into the WUFO 1080 AM on Power 96.5. We'll be right back.
My name is Carla Green. I have been in 2 car wrecks. The first time I've had a big law firm that advertises on television The young lawyer was inexperienced and who lost my case. In my second accident, I hired attorney John Elmore, a well-respected attorney from our community. John Elmore and the members of his law
I
firm
don't know if they
treated
can
me
hear
just
us right
like
now.
family.
Well,
When the insurance companies would not pay me because of my
so
pre-existing injuries, John Elmore filed a lawsuit and went after the insurance company like a pit bull. In the end,
0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Test results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Brian J. Lewis Entertainment presents Laughter is a Part of My Praise, June 3rd at the Airport Hilton Garden Hotel. Comedy night featuring queen of social media, comedian Maddie J. and Buffalo's own recording artist, Pastor Shannon Carter and Pastor Donna. For ticket information, contact Brian J. Lewis at 716-253-5860. Brought to you by Allen Core Funeral Home, Brian J. Lewis Entertainment, and the Greater at New Testament Church. Again, for ticket info, call Brian J. Lewis at 716-253-5860.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yeah, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually
I'm reading
get
on the
anything
articles
back
that says
when you
Hopkins
get
to
gas with
Buffalo
the Upside app?
before the season starts. He also said he would love to play for Buffalo.
Does that actually add up to
First
anything?
quarterback
I'll
you
make
mentioned.
around
Yeah.
$200 to $300.
Yeah.
Wow, that's serious extra cash.
I
I'm
mean-
downloading the Upside app now.
Download the
That'd
free
be nice.
Upside app now to earn
If you
real
wanna play
cash
it.
back every time you buy
That's cap
gas.
space.
That's
Promo
I.
code STRONG.
That's a guarantee. I mean, they could probably make it work. I just think that the Cardinals are trying to recoup on some really, really bad, investments.
And they're not.
And they, yeah, so they're trying to get as much as they can. But yeah, man, that'd be dope. That's
Hi,
a
this is
guaranteed
Dr.
catch when you throw his way.
Director of Communications
If
and
nothing
Community
else.
Engagement at the Buffalo AKG Art Museum.
I'm gonna get some
Totally
water,
off right
y'all.
now. We are proud to support the work of WUFO Radio and Power 96.5 because we take pride in supporting local organizations that serve our community members. The Buffalo AKG is set to open soon, and we can't wait to welcome you and your family.
Hey Buffalo, join us Friday, June 23rd as we kick off a 3-day WUFO Black Music Month Conference Award weekend, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Millennium Hotel, 2040 Walden Avenue. This conference will be filled with entertainment, information, and inspiration. On Friday and Saturday, we're offering a total of 7 workshops for $125. Friday's workshops will inform you about the music industry with topics like royalties with national recording artist Gary Hines from the R&B group Sounds of Blackness at 11 a.m. Getting signed with national radio consultant Mr. Tony Gray at 12 noon and publishing songs with the Force MDs at 1 p.m. We're also looking out for your help. At 2 p.m., Stan Martin from the Reach Organization will discuss It's Not Just Menthol, a topic about cigarettes. At 4 p.m., we will inspire you with the graduation of our upcoming authors from the SLB Author Academy. Cynthia Camper, Valerie Johnson, Bertia Swans, Mike Villani, Geraldine Wilson, and Eleanor Chillins. From 6 to 7 p.m., enjoy a fashion show by MMW Style Studios. Then for $10.80, we will entertain you from 7 to 11 p.m. at our after party, hosted by nationally syndicated radio host and hip-hop artist Chug Rock and our very own King Shad. Jam with DJ Ready Rob, DJ Corey, and DJ Easy Ed as they celebrate 50 years of hip hop by digging in the crates and spinning on real old school turntables. Also enjoy local food and drink and a food testing. The WUFO Black Music Month Conference Award Weekend, June 23rd, 24th, and 25th at the Millennium Hotel, 2040 Walden Avenue. Lots of rooms are available. Book yours now. You can purchase tickets and get hotel information at our studios at 143 Broadway or go to bmmca.com for full details.
Give everything that I have for as long as I play. And, I'm not saying that I haven't done that in the past, but there's always new ways that I can find to get better and not being complacent with what I'm doing on the field, understanding that there's a lot of plays that we left out there. And statistically, you look at it, we were top 3-4 offense in the league last year, and it wasn't good enough. So just losing the playoffs isn't fun, and I so badly want to bring Super Bowl here to Buffalo.
There it is. That's your boy, Josh Allen. Ooh, feedback. Give me more. Not the type of feedback that we are looking for. But there it is, Josh Allen talk about how, basically hungry he is to get back. That Cincinnati loss left a bad taste in, the Bills' mouth there. In particular, QB1. Just to, that whole playoff game, let Josh explain in that, just let you know how much he thinks about that game, and I know that he can't wait to get back out here. Knowing Josh, the competitor that he is, what do you think, Jamal, on, those comments with Josh Allen saying how bad he wants to, bring the Bills to the Super Bowl?
Well, I believe him. He's absolutely right with leaving plays on the field. I can think of quite a few from, so many games this year where, just, inconsistencies, misthrow here, miscommunication, just a lot of mental lapses from this team. It's kind of been a theme of this team, I think, in, these past couple of years, just mental lapses during, like, what the heck are you doing out there? Like, that's an easy touchdown, or don't throw that. You can't do that here, just, on both sides of the ball, really just bad mental lapses from this team. And I think, last year's loss for Cincinnati is probably, the first time where these guys, like, really just kind of got, like, punch in the mouth, and there's just really no excuse for it. The AFC Championship game versus the Chiefs, they kind of got blown out, but the first time there, the O-line's not that great and all that. The Texans choke, wasn't nice, but besides that, they've been either wins or close losses. But Cincinnati, that game was over in the first quarter, and 44 out the gate real quick for them. So I totally believe Josh when he says that, and it's good that he's refocusing that, and hopefully we see less mental lapses on the offensive side of the ball for the Bills this year.
So, what are your thoughts on that, Justus? Josh Allen expressing his hunger, on wanting to bring a Super Bowl here to Buffalo.
I mean, he kind of has to, for this is a crossroads for the Bills, really, right? Like, you reach a point where you make the playoffs and you're so happy, and then the very next year you make it to the AFC Championship game, you lose. Then you make it to the divisional, and then you lose. And then, the divisional one where it was like, have we peaked, at this point? It was like, are we actually good enough to get over the hill? Like, or are we just a really, really good regular season team, a la Marty Schottenheimer Chargers, right? We going to win 12, 13 games in the season, but then we really not going to be in contention for the big game, right? And I think that's, where a lot of people are starting to gear towards at this very point, where it's kind of like maybe jumping off that bandwagon a little bit. I like this Cincinnati bandwagon, or I love this Miami bandwagon, or the New York bandwagon looks cool, right? But I don't really understand the whole regression thought process for Josh Allen. I mean, again, he has the highest usage rate in the NFL. I mean, he's the most.
The regression talk was so ridiculous.
Like, so, and then, people talk about his turnovers. It was like, yeah, A, he is used more than any other player in the NFL. And B, you look at some of your favorite quarterbacks, and they threw almost as many interceptions as him.
Yeah, you look at
the
Patrick
close numbers.
Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes threw about 15 interceptions himself last year.
Joe
so,
Burrow threw like 12 or 13.
right, you know,
like,
they were all in the same kind of pack, you know, with
right,
the stats,
but Josh
touchdown,
Allen,
the interception ratio.
But Josh Allen is the only one who really gets punished for it. Who gets that
You know why? You know why?
wild Josh Allen sugar rush out or whatever the heck they say. Sugar high Josh.
You know why, yo? Because he led the league in the red zone. When it matters the most, when it comes down to your team scoring points, Josh Allen, you know, led the league in failures, if you want to say that. He led the league in failures. So when you look at an elite quarterback and things of that nature, you know, those were a flaw. He has regressed in those areas. And again, that all goes hand in hand with the defense, with the offensive coordinator too, because the offensive coordinator put him in them situations to make those type of decisions. But again, Josh has been in the league long enough to know that why your eyes are still locked in on that? Why are you still having those issues?
No, I mean,
why are you still having those issues?
No, I'm really not trying to like cap or cape for him.
Mm-hmm.
But context do matter to a degree. A lot of those were bad luck. Right.
Down tip balls.
Yeah, exactly. Like it was bad luck. And although yes, it's inexcusable in any right, when you have to be Superman, or y'all not getting points on this drive, that's just the end of it. It's either you not getting points or Josh, you gotta do something for us. You know what I mean? Again, and that goes back to the play calling. It's it's dropped back in Josh. 17, do something. We need you right now.
Right, but it goes all the way back to Isaiah McKenzie's comment on the reason why they lost the playoff game to begin with. And his gripe was if it would have been in a dome, it would have been a different story because the routes that we were running. Again, why are we running these type of routes in the snow then, offensive coordinator? Why are we running these comebacks and things like that in the snow? You know, so again, the inexperience of your offensive coordinator, once again, I want to say cost you a game, but you can easily say it did. You know, how are you thinking that we're going to be 5 wide in the snow? First of all, that was my whole thing. The 5 wide in the snow, I was just over it. You know, what's the reason of having home field advantage if we're not taking advantage?
It's not an advantage.
Field? It's not an advantage.
It's not an advantage
empty at home in the elements.
I totally get it.
You know,
I don't want to cape too bad for Ken Dorsey, but they were down 14-0, 13 minutes to that game.
Yeah, because it's 3 and out. And then the defense definitely has some falling in this too.
They couldn't run the ball all day either. So I mean, you gotta pass to get back in the game. And I'm not trying to completely cape for him too, but that's my thing. Ken Dorsey isn't blocking. Ken Dorsey's not playing defense. There's some other things that just how much are we gonna I just feel like Ken Dorsey gets too much of the blame for not good.
You know why I put so much. I don't mean to cut you off. You know why I put so much of the blame on Ken Dorsey is because when you look at the plays, in the midst of the game, when you're investing and you're trying to figure out what's going to happen on the next down, it's hard to see. But when you go back and watch the game, you're like, dog, there was no creativity in his offense.
No.
Play after play, it's the same thing over and over again. It's them asking Josh to be great, which I mean is fair because Josh is great. But he shouldn't always have to be and I'll always reference it. As soon as Chad Henne, I think it was for the Chiefs in the playoffs, goes 99 yards because of magnificently brilliant play calling. I was like, there's the gap right there. Yeah. That's the gap. It's the play calling.
That's the biggest gap. And, again, Josh Allen has the ball in his hands. So he does have to get better on making better decisions with the football, even if don't force it. There's no reason for you to be forcing stuff in this part of your career. It only come bite you, and you know what? And guess what? 9 times out of 10, it did. So that's something Josh is going to have to get better at within himself. But I do like the hunger. I do like the fact that he understands that window. Not saying that it's closing or anything like that. It's just that that he knows that window, right? And he has to have a sense of urgency within himself personally. You know what I mean? I mean, come on. You have to, right? You just naturally, as a football player, you just have to. So I respect it. You know, and hopefully, you know, we'll see on the day to day what that hunger looks like, you know, up until season starting. So we just have to wait and see on that. Another one, we got Coach McDermott. You know, he is the defensive coordinator. So, you know, it's I wouldn't say it's new, but it's kind of like refreshed itself that, you know, McDermott was obviously a defensive coordinator who got hired after to be a head coach. So now he really gets to hold both titles to start off the season. So, you know, we had to chop it up with Coach McDermott on his evaluations, and you know, will it be some things he'll be looking at differently now that he's the head coach and back being defensive coordinator. So here's Coach McDermott on just that. What are some of the things would you look at it differently? Go back looking at the defense coordinator and something.
Yeah, I mean, the added responsibility there, you know, looking at it through not only a holistic lens, I guess you could say, but also specific to the defense. You know, so but also trying to stay in tune with what offensively we're trying to get done on the plays that we ran yesterday. We'll run again today, and you know, it's fun to get out there again and coach, just as a coach, not just with the added responsibility, but just as a coach overall. Good to work together with the new staff pieces that we put together, and see some of our new players out there, Dalton being one of them, and some added guys from free agency as well.
There it is. There's Coach McDermott on, just getting back in the swing of things, or OTAs. And one thing I can say about Coach McDermott is that he is a hands-on guy. You get these head coaches that feel, hey, I've made it. I don't have to be a hands-on guy. I got my offensive coordinator to do that. I got my defensive coordinator to do that. But Coach McDermott is a hands-on guy. So to say that he's going back to be the defensive coordinator, I don't know, like, I mean, I guess he has full reign now. He don't have to worry about sharing it with Coach Frazier, you know. So now, you know, I guess that would kind of light a fire in you, knowing that, you know, you're back at the helm, back at a position to where you earned a head coaching job. So, you know, that would definitely kind of light a fire into you to say, like, you know what, I'm going to go back to what got me here, that got me being a head coach, and, you know, and get back to that. So I'm excited to see what Coach McDermott is going to pull out, the personnel groupings that he's going to use it in, you know, to make this defense better. So Jamal, what is your take on Coach McDermott evolving as defense coordinator?
Oh, I love it. You know, I really love what we did back with the Panthers in 2015. Even his time from the Eagles, you know, his coaching, you know, tree and philosophy coming from the Jimmy Johnson tree. So, you know, I absolutely love him going back to being defensive coordinator. I understand, you know, it could be a lot with him being head coach and the coordinator. You don't want to, you know, weigh yourself too thin, but, you know, he's stepping up to the challenge. I think he'll be just fine. I know he did an interview with Pat McCaffrey either, you know, today, yesterday I was watching. You know, he's pretty happy about doing it, being refreshed. I just, you know, want to see some, you know, the creativity, you know, back with this defense. I think that's really what's been missing. You know, Leslie Frazier's done a fine job these past couple of years. You know, unfortunate what happened, you know, with Kansas City last year. You know, fortunate what happened with Cincinnati this year. But, you know, I don't want to, you know, lose games, have more complaints about why our season ends because, you know, in there, I want a little bit of aggressiveness, and that's what McDermott's been known for. That's what he's done in the past, and so that's what I expect to see this season. You know, and if it doesn't work out, you know, the accountability is right on him. You know, there's no one else to blame, you know, but yourself.
Absolutely. Justus, what's your take on that?
Ooh, let me be real, guys. I might be in the minority with this, but you drive Josh Allen at 7 overall, and then he actually exceeds what your wildest dreams. Leslie Frazier's defense should have been more than enough to get it done. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. The defense is set up for you not to score as few points as humanly possible, right? You could run all you want, have this short crap, take it, whatever. It's gonna get harder the shorter the distance is to the goal line, and they bank on that. And you know, look, you bend, don't break. That's the whole point of it. You know, you get down to the 35-yard line, and now you don't have as much field to defend. Now you can, you know what I mean, come up and play more, and you know, with more men in the box. You can, you know, do this. You can take some more chances, more risks, play heavier sets, etc. Right? And you have 17 on the other side of the field scoring as many points as he can, because I mean, our run defense is our weakness. But if there's enough points on the board, then they can't run. They have to throw. And we have the best secondary in the league, you know. And then you have really, really good linebackers to boot. Only thing Leslie Frazier's defense was missing was talent at the really on the defensive line altogether, really. Outside of Ed Oliver and some of Greg Rousseau and obviously Von Miller, ain't really much to write home about over there on the defensive line. And so I feel like as a collective unit, they can maybe make a difference this season. We'll see. But talent, like as far as like star power or just pure, I'm going to beat whoever's in front of me, I don't think they have a lot of that. So my point is, if the offense was doing what it's supposed to be doing, then the defense works. Now, I'll give you in the championship or in the divisional game, being down 14-0 after the first 4 possessions is crazy. That's just unacceptable, like on everybody's part. So I give you that. But you know, hopefully you wanting your team to be at a, you know, it's 17-3. You know, they have to come on, start passing the ball, and you know, that's where you start getting 3 and outs, and that's where you start getting turnovers and this and that. But my point is, I think Leslie Frazier's defense was good enough to get it done if Josh Allen his potential is maximized. Sean McDermott, you know, I've heard Ron Rivera, he's been quoted saying like Sean McDermott is too aggressive, overly aggressive, always wants to be aggressive, and I don't know if I hate that.
I want to see it.
Me too.
I want to see it. I don't want to see us being passive aggressive this year. I want to see a much more aggressive Coach McDermott. All right. I want to see that Coach McDermott that got him that head coaching job to begin with. All right. I want to see that. I want to see the Jim Johnson era relived this season with this Bills defense.
The only question is, we can all acknowledge that whatever you want to say about what the Bills defense did in the playoffs or whatever the case may be, 89% of the season, that Bills defense was great. It got the job done. And Leslie Frazier was, I'm assuming he was a big part of that. They didn't have a ton of blue chip players. I'm going to just put it that way. All right. They made a lot of late round. They developed a lot of talent.
So is that an excuse?
No. Hold on. I'm not saying that as an excuse. I'm saying they developed a lot of talent. Leslie Frazier maximized everybody in the back 7. He maximized all of their potential. We'll see if Sean McDermott can do the same.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely gonna have to see. We're definitely gonna have to see, and you know, like you said, they do have one of the best secondaries in the league. So, and we're not even talking about the 2 draft picks from last year in Kyer Elam and Christian Benford. When we talk about having the best secondary, you know, we're not even including those 2 guys. I mean, basically, you're talking about obviously Tre'Davious, Poyer, Hyde, you know, Dane Jackson, obviously, but those 3 are, you know, what makes the Bills defense their air traffic control units. And Taron Johnson, yes, definitely. So, but what about Kyer? What about Christian? Year 2, who is going to be alongside Tre'Davious White this year? I know the Bills did bring back Dane Jackson, but I mean, you drafted these guys for a reason. So here is, you know, I guess, assistant defensive coordinator and DB's coach John Butler on, you know, Kyer Elam and Christian Benford.
I'm not asking whether that will or won't happen, but what is it maybe about his game that I guess leaves that possibility open if you guys did decide you wanted to do it?
Right now, Christian's playing corner for us, and he's doing a nice job competing with really Kair and Dane for that number 2 spot next to Tredavis. That's the job he's working at exclusively right now, nowhere else.
So that pretty much answers your question. If you want to listen to more John Butler, you can go on my Twitter page, and I got a few clips on him breaking down both Kair Elam and Christian Benford. But based upon that, what you just heard, exclusively at cornerback, to me, that sounds like he has a favorite guy on thinking who's going to be cornerback number 2. If he says that, oh, you got a 3-headed monster with Elam, Benford, and Dane Jackson, we ain't talking about who's backing up Tredavious. We're talking about the number 2 corner spot. So, gentlemen, who do you think will get the nod at CB2?
Well, for me, look, had maybe a week of these guys being all together, collectively. So I'm not putting too much weight into that. I do think it's very interesting that they made it a point to point that out because, who cares at this point, right? Of course we care, but it's like, why did you feel the need to tell us that? Dog protest too much? Maybe, you know what I mean?
Well, he was asked.
Oh, he was asked.
He was asked, he was asked whether would Benford tinker at playing safety.
Got you. Okay.
Well, his rebuttal was, no, he's strictly a corner. He's exclusively.
So far, he's been there.
He's corner.
So I'm not mad at it. And plus, I don't think Christian Benford is playing major minutes for us at safety this year in any regard. Mm-hmm. So I'm not mad at that.
They got Tyler Rabb, and then obviously you got Poyer High still back.
Both coming back healthy after being gone mad long last season. So I'm okay, that's fine. I don't think that necessarily says that he can't be a safety of the future. It don't even need to be because he's a really good corner. I'm not mad at it. So as far as who's going to be CB2 this year, I feel like Kair Elam is the superior specimen. Mm-hmm. It'll be interesting to see if Sean McDermott tries to make him fit a mold or if they let him flourish being who he is. That'll be interesting to see with this new defensive mindset or whatever the case may be. If you let everybody play and be who they supposed to be, Dorian Williams, what's the guy we just drafted? Dorian Williams. He's gonna be a dog. Kair Elam's gonna be a dog. Christian Benford gonna be a dog. Taylor, right? Listen. But I know that is one thing about Leslie Frazier's defense is he definitely tried to put people in a box and definitely didn't let star qualities show. I don't know if that was a lack of star power or if he was just like, hey, just do this and we'll win. And the majority of the time he was right. But we'll see this season what Sean McDermott brings and if he can make the most out of Christian Benford's crazy upside.
Mm-hmm. We'll see, Jamal, what are your thoughts on who should be cornerback number 2?
It's truly anyone's guess as of right now, but I guess I would leave Benford just based off the play from last season. He looked to, play pretty good. And, Elam had a few splash plays too, obviously, but, it was a little bit maybe the coach's maybe doghouse sometimes throughout the season. Wasn't quite sure why he wasn't playing or whatnot. Benford was just, pretty fundamentally sound, just, a damn good corner, always in position for the most part, not getting crazy beat on many things. So I think it's still pretty early. They're both pretty good. It's literally 50-50. But if I had to choose someone, I'd go with Benford.
All right. I'm going to say Kair just on the simple fact that you drafted him in the first round. So, he has to play at some point. But again, Benford from Villanova, he is perfect for the scheme because the Villanova defense ran the exact same defense, that the Bills run. So that's where you see him being a little bit more comfortable, or he can have a slight edge, if you will, over Kair because, that system is just about the same system of the Bills. So he has that coming in. That's one of the reasons why he was drafted.
I don't like how we just looked over Dane Jackson like that. All right. Listen, hold on. All right, maybe no. I'm not putting it on us, right? I'm not gonna say we overlooked him, but it is a lot of disrespect on social media over Dane Jackson. I'm gonna tell you guys. Listen,
no disrespect.
No, it's some disrespect. People have been disrespecting Dane Jackson, and I want to tell all of y'all, go watch the tape. All right, Dane Jackson is a good cornerback. He's good. He's a good. I would say his biggest weakness, and I would dare to say it's such a big weakness that it looks like it could be his like only weakness, but it's not his only weakness, right? But like if he got better at this, he'd be a significantly better player.
Okay,
if he got better,
if he got better enough to the point where the Bills drafted 2 cornerbacks last year.
No, I mean he's a late round pick, so they don't have anything invested in him. They can bring in talent.
They can bring him back, but why?
But they brought him back though.
We bring him back to stunt the growth for Kyer and
because he's a good cornerback. His only issue is he's bad at the point of it. That's his only issue. That's the only thing keeping him off the field is he's bad at the point of attack. If he get his head around, I'm telling you, he's a Pro Bowler.
Speaking about keeping it off the field,
and we walked over Alex Austin too, by the way.
Yeah, we ain't got enough time to get into
the other late round
pick. We'll dive into that at another part of the show. But right now, we got to get into Diggs or not to Diggs. All right, everybody is making a whole big issue of Diggs not being at OTAs. And what's Von's timetable? We got the opportunity to sit down with Von yesterday and ask him about those 2 things. And this is what, Von Miller had to say about that.
Yeah, I just like to keep stuff simple. Like we talking about Stephon Diggs, like one of the best receivers in the game. We got Josh Allen, like he's not going anywhere. This is our guy. The Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs connection is what makes all of these things go for us here in Buffalo and Bills Mafia. Like, he's not here right now, but I don't think it should ever be a question. Is football number 1 on his mind? Like the way he comes out here each and every practice, the way he commits to his game, commits to his teammates. Sometimes you just need a little bit of time. Like OTAs, we've all seen you don't need OTAs to be successful. Like 2020, nobody had OTAs. Everybody was still good. And he's a proven veteran, a superstar on and off the football field. I don't think it's a big deal about him not being in OTAs. He's going to be here at mandatory minicamp. He's going to show that he's a better version of Stephon Diggs on and off the football field. And that's, for me, in my point of view, as a teammate, as if I'm a GM, if I'm a head coach, those are really the things that matter to me. Is he going to come out here? Is he going to be better than last year? Like, is he going to compete? Does he still love the game? And all of those boxes are checked. And I'm excited to get him back here at mandatory minicamp. No, I don't. I did in 2023. In 2013, when I tore my ACL, I wanted to be here. I wanted to get back as fast as possible and play and show guys you don't need to take 9 months to recover from ACL. But goals are different now. I want to be here for my team when they need me the most. And I feel like late in the season when it really got tough, I wasn't able to be there because I was injured. So the most important thing for me is just to be available when my team really needs me. If that's week 1, then I'll be happy for that. If that's week 6, I'll be happy for that. But it won't be, I guarantee it won't be any later than that. But, whatever it takes for me to get to that point, that's what I'll do.
There it is. There's your boy, Von Miller, giving you the real spill on how he feel about Diggs not coming to camp and a timetable for his return. He said week 6. I said in between week 6 and week 8, we'll see Von. I'm still going to hold to that, but he said not later than week 6. We'll have to see. Gentlemen, what's your take on Diggs not returning to camp and Von Miller's, projected return? Justus, I'll let you go first. You have 1 minute.
I will say that 4 or 5 years ago, nobody will care that Stephon Diggs is not at camp. This is only a big deal because we're Buffalo Bills now, and he had that little moment last year in the playoffs where he was kind of, gesturing toward Josh. That's the only reason this is a story. It's a non-issue.
But nobody knows what he was saying. It just looks like he was saying something.
They just want a story. But as far as Von Miller, I don't think we'll be seeing Von Miller at least until the double digits next season. I'm very happy for his optimism, but like he said, he needs to be there when his team needs him the most. He got injured late last season. We know it takes at least a year, or most times it takes a year for ACL, 2 years to fully recover. So I would like to see him back late next year, especially depending on how well our pressure is, provided he's not there. So
no doubt. Appreciate that. Jamal, what are your thoughts on Diggs not being at OTAs and Von's projected return?
Yeah, for Diggs, it's like literally so what? Does he ever come to OTAs? Like it's not that big of a deal. He'll be there for training camp. He'll be there for week one. Like just relax. Von Miller, yeah, kind of what Justus said. I don't really expect him till later in the season. ACL takes about a year to come back, and then honestly, even a year to kind of feel yourself. We kind of saw the Chris Godwin not really quite feeling himself till quite later in the season. Trey White was never quite his all caliber self, but he did get better in every game he played last season. Von Miller, is probably gonna come back late in the season. He's probably gonna, maybe he'll get better with every game he played. Maybe he'll be, not quite himself. Who really knows? But it'll just be good to have him back. Even 50% Von Miller or 60-70% Von Miller is still, up in the upper echelon in the NFL. Same with Trey White. Even 60-70% Trey White is still, a solid corner. And so, yeah, I appreciate Von Miller's optimism, but I don't think he'll be back by week 6. If he is, I'll be quite shocked.
Yeah. I say Von Miller return anywhere between week 8 at best. And then with the Stephon Diggs situation, knock it off, okay? Stephon Diggs' average is about 110 catches and 1,300 yards and 10 touchdowns every year he's been in a Bills uniform. And I don't think he probably made it to OTAs once. So come on, Bills Mafia. Cut my guy some slack. He will be here when it's mandatory. And that is our show for today. I want to make sure that you all choose love and don't choose hate. Stay safe and wash them damn hands, man.
Attention Medicaid patients.
If you're on Medicaid, how would you like if your caretaker was your daughter, your son,
all right, bro.
your grandchild, or your close friend? If you're on Medicaid.
Dane Jackson, a Pro Bowler?
If Dane Jackson, listen, watch, if he could get his head around, Dane Jackson's a Pro Bowler.
I think he just had a bad season.
I don't even. Okay, statistically, yeah. But when I tell you,
he got hurt, and then that shit changed too. Boys ain't about to stick.
Whenever you saw Dane Jackson, it was a highlight play being made on him.
He's right there.
It was like, oh my God, what a catch! It was like, 30 is there. I'll take it. But it wasn't because of bad coverage. It was just a great catch, pitch and catch. So I think Dane Jackson is a good quarterback. He's got all the tools.